were allocated to Manchester United, 14,500 to Oldham, but whereas United sold their last few tickets late this afternoon, 5,500 of Oldham's remained unsold. So Oldham Athletic in the blue shirts, who were a couple of minutes away on Sunday from their first ever FA Cup final, have to start all over again against a Manchester United side who, if they get to the cup final, will equal Arsenal's record of 12 finals. Neil Poynton, who scored the goal for Oldham in extra time, takes this long throw. Tests Pallister straight away. Henry. That's Fleming. Parker for Manchester United.
Well, Paul Bernardi starting down the left-hand side. He's going to help out Neil Poynton with Kanchelskis and Rick Holden on the right flank. From Manchester United's point of view, Roy Keane, Paul Ince, Brian Robson, that midfield three, and I'm sure it'll be Keane more than anyone who'll get forward to support Hughes.
Robson, who played so well in the first match. That was Pallister with Graham Sharp, and it's Ince for Manchester United. Irwin, former Oldham player. In fact, he was on the other side when they met in the semi-final in 1990.
Hopefully be more of a spectacle than perhaps Sunday was. A lot of niggly fouls going on. And the good thing is that there's not a strong wind. Certainly when I left London this afternoon, it was blowing very strongly. But up here in the northwest, they've had a very pleasant day, and that should make it better from a passing point of view.
That was an offside decision. A lot of noise inside the ground, and I must say the atmosphere does seem more like a local derby. That's Henry. Kanchelskis. Bruce. This is Irwin. Well, the player coming back was offside technically, but there was no need for a flag. In fact, the directive has gone out suggesting that linesmen don't flag in that situation just recently. Here's Giggs. Mark Hughes took a bit of a crack on the ankle there. And that's Paul Parker away, and it's a corner to Oldham, which will bring Robson forward on the far side. Rick Holden paused a moment before he went across to take it, but Poynton, who scored from one of his corners via Schmeichel on Sunday, is right in the 6-yard box there. And he was in the thick of it too. Giggs. Bit of shirt pulling, but Oldham have possession.
Rick Holden, of course, I know all about Manchester City. When he didn't have the most successful of spells, brought in to get those crosses in that we've seen so often at Oldham. Didn't work out at the main road, but I think it's been very instrumental in their improvement since going back there.
Yes, he was here about 14 months before he went back. This is Nick Henry. And now it's Roy Keane for Manchester United, with Kanchelskis making his first run down the right, cut out by Poynton. Oh, and then as Poynton went to clear, there was a block tackle by Keane, which Holden certainly disapproved of, and a yellow card is shown straight away to Roy Keane by Martin Boddenham for the challenge on Poynton.
Well, welcome back from suspension, wasn't it? You can see it was never a tackle that he was going to get the ball in. As Neil Poynton's followed through, he's caught him. You know, Poynton's ball, it's a jump tackle high up on the shin. Definitely worth the booking.
So Keane, who was out for one match because of disciplinary points, is cautioned again. That's Henry hooking it forward. Poynton. It's a spirited start by Oldham. Cross meant for Beckford, and he concedes the free kick.
It was a spirited start, it's a pretty physical one from both sides as well. A few robust challenges. Each number of players letting their opponent know they're around, and you know, both sides are going to have to use the widths because there's not much space in the centre of that midfield.
Ince looks for Parker. Kanchelskis is in the centre, being joined by Hughes. This is Keane. Now Ince. Brian Robson is well forward in this attack. Parker. Graham Sharp with Steve Bruce. Poynton's header. Henry. Robson arriving now.
Just got the first header to that one. Again, Gary Pallister is the defender who's detailed to pick him up because he is definitely their most dangerous header of the ball in attacking situations, Oldham.
Oh, was Hughes being held? He's found Keane anyway. There's Beckford. Graham Sharp. The two strikers combine again for Oldham. There's some good running here by Holden. Trying to get Graham Sharp back in the hole. And Hughes is fouled by Fleming.
Brian Robson, who got back to make the challenge on Graham Sharp. He's just sitting in front of the back four, protecting any attacks from Oldham and allowing Ince and Keane to get forward.
This is Kanchelskis. Robson. Much is expected tonight from the three players who've come into the Manchester United side. Here's Ince. Wide is Irwin. Ince again. Robson into the penalty area now. Ince, a wide pass to Kanchelskis. Hughes was ready for a wind-up volley. It's come out to Irwin. That's Robson. That's Irwin! That's 1-0! Dennis Irwin! And Brian Robson played a part in the goal.
Well, it's great build-up, wasn't it? Dennis Irwin knocks it into Brian Robson, flips it, jests it down, it sits up to be hit, he crashes it into the net and scores against his old club.
Inside the first 10 minutes, Brian Robson plays the return ball, and as you say, Irwin, the former Oldham player, puts them one behind in this semi-final replay. Beautifully taken by a fullback who's never afraid to use his imagination in attack. And what a start for Manchester United. Well, he'll be really pleased with that. His fourth goal of the season. Now, what a stiff test for Oldham, Trevor.
Well, it is. We mentioned United used the width well, didn't it, in the build-up. Kanchelskis was involved originally for the cross from the right. And Dennis Irwin, we mentioned at the weekend what an underrated player he is. Good build-up again, and once it was there on his right foot. And of course, the switch from Bernard meant that it was Holden who was back defending, and he just didn't keep goal side.
Oh, mistake by Parker. This is Beckford. Oh, and off the line by Irwin again. Paul Parker. Well, that was a let-off. He was looking here to play it to Schmeichel, but look at Beckford. Gets round the goalkeeper, and Dennis Irwin on the post. And Robson comes in at the far side. Corner again for Oldham. Well, we had a mundane 90 minutes on Sunday, but this replay has started like a house on fire. Look at this, Robson coming in at the back, corner forced again. Holden to take it from the far side. Sharp being marked by Keane. Oh, and difficult, Schmeichel punching it out from right underneath the crossbar. Holden again. And again. Away by Parker, but returned almost immediately. And here comes Poynton, blocked by Ince. This is Graham Sharp. That's Bruce. And that's a better back pass. But a poor kick by the goalkeeper nonetheless. And Oldham are having a good 5 minutes here. It's Graham Sharp. Beckford in the middle, Schmeichel comes. And now, Kanchelskis. What did you make of all that?
Well, two great crosses from Holden, one from the corner and then the second cross in. It all came as a result of Paul Parker's sort of back pass, didn't it? It was intercepted. I thought Darren Beckford should have done much better. Get into the byline. He tried to cross it with his right foot. We talk about players having been able to use both feet. I mean, if he'd had a left foot there, they would have scored.
So still inside the first quarter of an hour, but an awful lot's happened already in this replay. It's Parker with the throw for Manchester United. Kanchelskis. Forward by Henry for Oldham. Giggs and Makin. Brian Robson, full of running. He's charged forward again there. It wasn't him who was offside, it was Giggs. The linesman on the near side is Roy Pearson of County Durham, who will be officiating in the World Cup, but he wasn't able to, didn't have to raise his flag here because the 1-2 was perfect. Irwin was onside when Robson knocked it back in, and that's a polished finish, particularly from a defender. Kanchelskis. Oh, Keane made the mistake. Poynton took advantage. But Keane has another chance. Nice touch by Mark Hughes to Ince. And they're streaming forward here. This is Kanchelskis. Giggs waving to him from the far side. Still Kanchelskis going alone. Oh, what a brilliant goal! Have you seen anything like that in a semi-final? Andrei Kanchelskis started on the right wing and went across the pitch on a personal crusade, away from Oldham, edge of the area. Well, devastating.
Well, that's quite a magnificent goal. I said on Sunday how much I thought they missed him, but I didn't expect to see him hit a left footer like that from all of 20 yards, making the goal out of nothing. A quite superb goal, and now it's going to be a mountain, isn't it, for Oldham?
15 minutes gone. Manchester United 2, Oldham 0. The cutting edge that United were lacking on Sunday, they have rediscovered. And Oldham suddenly know what it's like to meet the real Manchester United. As if they didn't know earlier in the season when they lost 5-2, but there are goals certainly in the main road air tonight. 2 already. And Oldham are shaken.
Well, I think Manchester United would accept themselves. The last 3 weeks or so, they haven't looked as sharp or as confident as they have for 3/4 of this season. Everyone wondered whether Mark Hughes' last-minute goal could spark them off again. And definitely this first 16, 17 minutes is as good as we've seen them.
It's a prolific start by the team chasing the League and Cup double. Bernard for Oldham. Foul by Ince. Well, as always, when teams go 2 down, they need 1 back sooner rather than later. And Oldham have a free kick. As the United fans celebrate. Now Kanchelskis in defence. Here he is again, picking it up from Hughes, who had a hand in that earlier move. He's away from Poynton. Giggs is coming in from the far side. This is Hughes. Now it's Irwin. But he left the ball behind.
Kanchelskis has been a revelation there, hasn't he? His pace is causing so many problems. And you know, when you think the twist of fortunes of football, what sent off in the last couple of minutes of the League Cup, handball, and here we are a couple of weeks later, looks as if he's putting Manchester United in the FA Cup final. Offside flag, yes, and I think it's fair to say that on the right flank on Sunday, they were a bit disappointed with the crosses. Well, his arrival or his return, especially with Irwin getting forward so well on the other flank, has given a flying start to Manchester United tonight. I think he's had an outstanding season. You know, that balance, that natural left foot one side and the right that Kanchelskis gives down his flank, I think makes all the difference to the United team.
Well, that was, by Kanchelskis, one of the best semi-final goals I've been privileged to see. And Robson has made a thundering start to the game, up with the attack all the time. Hughes was knocked over by Fleming. It was a late challenge, and Martin Boddenham goes to his pocket again. It's Craig Fleming. Yellow card.
I think that's a bit harsh. You know, that all right. Martin Boddenham has said that's the second or third tackle, but Mark Hughes went over. He tried to play the advantage. It was intercepted. He's come back, given the free kick, and for me, that wasn't a yellow card.
But it is a free kick to Manchester United. Away by Milligan. Oh, another challenge by Poynton, I think, this time, as left Kanchelskis down, but Hughes coming in on the cross. Every Manchester United player wants the ball. Keane, Robson. Pallister, they're winning the tackles. They're coming out of the 50-50s with the ball at the moment, and they've got a 2-goal lead with 20 minutes gone. And Robson's presence seems to have brought a new order to the Manchester United ranks. Parker. Oh, it's Ince, put through by Hughes. And, oh, Robson's shot was blocked. Giggs, and his shot's blocked by Bernard. But I thought Brian Robson was going to score there.
It was a great run, wasn't it? Paul Ince. I mean, the midfield three, Keane, Robson and Ince, have been destroying them and winning possession. In fact, Joe Roll has made a switch just in the last minute or so. He pulled Bernard in from the left or the right flank as he started off and put him to make a third midfielder alongside Milligan and Henry, just to bolster that area because Manchester United were dominating.
Well, he's got to do something because Oldham are being overrun. This was Ince, who got himself into a good position. Keep an eye open for Brian Robson here because the ball eventually runs to him. There's his shot with the right foot, blocked by Hallworth, and it's Giggs, who I think finds his shot here, blocked by Bernard. Here's Henry. Poynton. Goal kick.
Well, that was a strange decision as well because Neil Poynton definitely got clipped by Andre Kanchelskis. As you can see, he comes inside, he just hangs out his left foot, just clips him. Right, might have made a meal of it, but I still think he should have got a free kick there.
Yeah, there was a bit going on between those two in the previous attack, wasn't there? But this is Kanchelskis at his best. He goes right across the entire Oldham line, and that's an unerring strike with the left foot by the Ukrainian, who stamps his class on an English semi-final. Halfway through the first half, and already we're asking Trevor, is there any way back for Oldham?
I'm sure that's what's going through not only Joe Royle's mind, Alex Ferguson, I'm sure he's quite relaxed about it all, but also the Oldham players, because, you know, last-minute equaliser on Sunday, and suddenly within quarter of an hour, 2-0 down. I mean, it's a huge mental barrier that you've got to overcome, and you've just got to get a couple of passes. When United went 1-0 up, they had that little spell of pressure from the Paul Parker back pass, couple of crosses, and then suddenly United go up the other end, get the second goal, and it is a huge barrier now to get and come back from 2-0 down. I can't see it personally.
Well, it's happened before, and in the FA Cup this season, the improbable has happened. Here's Brian Robson, though. And United are going for the jugular now. 2 is not enough, the way they're playing. And Robson looks like a man rejuvenated, or perhaps I should say, he has rejuvenated the side.
Well, he's been waiting patiently, hasn't he, all season, coming in on 1 or 2 occasions. As I say, well, about quarter of an hour to go of the 90 minutes. He came in on Sunday, certainly put in a few tackles, gained his place from the off this evening, and I'm sure Alex Ferguson thinking that a good decision now.
And Hughes goes down again. That wasn't a foul, though. This is Giggs. He's back on his feet now. Hughes, that's a good ball by him. It's Giggs again. Irwin outside him. Hughes wants it pulled back. There he is. Good defending between Fleming and Jobson, really, because it went off Hughes for a goal kick.
What a magnificent move that was United at their best. Using the width, though, aren't they? Look at the confidence now. Dennis Irwin, 2-0 up, and there he is getting forward, and Fleming did well just to knock Hughes off balance.
Suddenly we're seeing the flamboyant Manchester United of earlier in the season. Everything's coming off at the moment.
Mustn't underestimate Mark Hughes in these situations, because in the system that they're playing this evening, he's up there by himself. He's so strong, and he's spreading the play superbly, and that's making the new system work.
And all this, of course, without Cantona. There's Giggs. Irwin. Oh, look, Giggs trying the tricks.
Bit early for that sort of trick, I would have said, and the sort of outrageous flick that might get him a hefty tackle from behind in the next couple of minutes, I would have thought.
Henry for Oldham. Giggs again. Giggs and Irwin combining sweetly on that side in this opening half hour, but then the whole team are functioning. This is Parker. Oh, look at that. Helped on by Keane to Kanchelskis, but he just can't keep it in, can he? Yes, he can even do that. No, linesman's flagged.
Oldham have got the problem now. They've got no width on this left-hand side since Bernard has gone in the middle, whereas Manchester United are keeping Giggs and Kanchelskis wide and Hughes up there by himself. Oldham are using two front strikers and have got no width down the left, and so they can't retain possession.
Keane. Oh, Pallister with his back to danger. Poynton. Parker. Forward runs from Hughes and Kanchelskis here, keeping the Oldham defence fully stretched. Off the chest of Graham Sharp to Beckford, but he's out the game at the moment. Oldham have to try and find a way back into it.
Manchester United got that zest into their play again, haven't they? They're not letting the opposition settle on it. And that's when they're playing at their best, when they're buzzing around and people in possession have got so many options to give the ball to.
Good ball by Parker to Ince. Giggs makes a run across. Ince turns well. Hughes! It's a torrid time for Oldham. And there's Mr. Cantona, an admiring spectator, as he serves the fourth match of his 5-game ban. Robson, Giggs, Hughes. Oh, Kanchelskis. Been playing nearly half an hour.
And at the moment, Oldham having to resort to knocking it long, which is being gratefully received by Bruce and Palace, who are dominating the air. They just can't seem to be able to play the ball through the middle.
That's forward by Jobson. And exactly that. Bruce's header back. Kanchelskis. forward by Poynton. That's Bernard. Makin. Hughes with Fleming. Holds him off and finds Kanchelskis. Ince and Hughes making runs forward. Giggs far side. Ince let it go. Hughes.
Just set up for Hughes there. Bounced quite dry the main road pitch this evening. Tried to chest it down, but it wouldn't come down quick enough and hooked it over the bar.
This is Makin for Oldham. Beckford, number 17. Holden. Ince showing how you can tackle from behind and take the ball cleanly. But Makin does well against Giggs. Bernard. Beckford. Holden. Graham Sharp. Oh, a mistake. And Bernard and Beckford scrambling for it. What is going on here? And Holden got hold of it. And it's gone wide. Oldham say it's a corner. They're convinced it is. Pallister looks relieved. Well, what about this?
Well, I think they were relieved because of a handball. Oldham definitely thought Pallister had handballed it in the scramble earlier. And then when it broke for Rick Holden, I think, in fact, that's the incident. You can see all the hands go up, and he's on his right foot, which isn't his best, and he drags a good opportunity wide.
Yes, they were appealing for a handball. You're quite right. It's there, isn't it? He kicks the ball onto his own arm, Gary Pallister. Well, referee has to say, is it intentional? And he's standing in a good position, Martin Bodnam.
Well, he couldn't have been in a better spot, and all the hands went up, didn't they, for Oldham? Again, a certain relief from United, and then, of course, they missed the shooting opportunity. That was where they could have definitely got one back.
So, the excitement unabated.
Interesting point in that attack which developed the scramble was Graham Sharp pulling and getting on Paul Parker. And perhaps Oldham have remembered what Alan Shearer did, and that might be something we see more.
This is Graham Sharp. This is Beckford. And Schmeichel. Good position again.
Well, it was a good ball by Graham Sharp, wasn't it? Not offside. I thought Darren Beckford might have tried to bring it down there, and he rushed his shot. I think it would have gone past the far post, although give credit to Schmeichel, he made the save.
He did, and credit too to Sharp. It was a lovely pass to Beckford. But having seen two opportunities go by, you wonder whether Oldham are going to get too many more. Good play by the veteran Graham Sharp. Ince. Henry. Poynton. Well played. And then Sharp. Good challenge by Bruce. Offside flag. Do you feel Oldham have stemmed the tide a bit?
Well, they have, because they haven't conceded a goal for a while. I mean, 2 in the first 15 minutes, and they were rocking. Manchester United were on a high, and you just wondered whether they were going to get a third. And they did have a couple of chances, didn't they? But they did weather the storm, and they've come back, and they have had a couple of chances of their own. And but you do feel it's a night where they need to take those half chances.
Here's Ince. Kanchelskis. Keane. Robson hustling Henry. Parker joining in. Goal kick. Long history between Manchester United and this main road ground. They used to play here just after the war when their own Old Trafford was still recovering from war damage. Well, those Chelsea players watching this could be forgiven if their thoughts are already turning to a cup final against Manchester United. But one thing about Oldham, their heads won't drop. They're a team who've battled in adversity before and come through.
And you can be sure if it stays like this, even 2 goals, Joe Raw won't give it up. And at some stage in the second half, he's got Andy Ritchie there on the bench. He'll introduce that extra attacker and give it a go, whether they concede another one up the other end. But he won't just sit back and not try things in the second half.
Ince. The overhead from Hughes. Giggs. Irwin. Robson. Fleming having to turn with Kanchelskis behind him. Giggs. Ince. Well played again by Hughes. This is Keane. Kanchelskis down this side. Ince making ground into the area. Giggs is arriving as well.
Mark Hughes was magnificent there. I mean, he is one of the big difference between the two sides. He's up there by himself, but he's so strong. He's shielding it, bringing other people into play, whereas when it goes up on these situations, Oldham haven't been able to.
Well, Graham Sharp has still made 2 or 3 valuable contributions up there for Oldham. They may have been under siege at the other end, but they've got a corner here. And with just over 5 minutes left in the first half, Oldham search for a way back. Beckford, Poynton, yes! It's the same man again. They found a way back, and it was from a Holden corner, as on Saturday. Sunday rather. Beckford gets a foot in. Poynton does the same in front of Schmeichel, and he jabs Oldham back into this semi-final.
Well, this is absolutely crucial, and should have been hooking it with his right foot, somehow managed to twist his leg round. Again, the pace of Holden's free kicks and corner kicks makes all the difference. Here, just knocked on, and it's Poynton who reacts quickest, and that is an absolutely crucial game to get Oldham back into it.
Well, Poynton, whose first goal of the season came at Wembley, now scores his second and puts a different complexion on this replay. 2-1 now. Robson to Kanchelskis.
Been a pulsating tie, hasn't it, up to now?
Terrific. And thoughtful Schmeichel. But so often in football matches, a two-goal lead can be almost too good to be true in the first half, and Oldham have found a way, at least of halving it. That's Giggs. So, there's work to be done here for Robson and company still. It's not going to be the easy passage that the first 15 minutes may have suggested. But what it does prove is that Sunday was an exception. There are usually goals between these two when they meet. Pallister. Graham Sharp. Henry Milligan. Oldham are buzzing now. Helped on by Hughes to Kanchelskis. Ince steaming forward in the middle. Out by Jobson. Then Milligan. And the crowd keeping up a perpetual roar now because the game is swinging from one end to the other. And Oldham are on the attack again. And that's Graham Sharp, who's had a wonderful first 45 minutes. That's his cross. Beckford!
That was their best move of the half there, Oldham. Good cross from Graham Sharp. And again, funnily enough, if you see Beckford get up, Steve Bruce is there, but Paul Parker's come in, and they've got in each other's way, and Beckford's got above them. Didn't quite head it firm enough, but you've got to admire Oldham for coming back into this match.
This is Keane. Ince. Poynton. Irwin to Giggs. Just over a minute left in the first half. Manchester United 2, Oldham 1. Giggs. Only Hughes in the middle. Away by Fleming. Robson. Back to Giggs. Irwin.
First time Giggs has had a run at the defence.
Quite right. Ince. Keane. Kanchelskis. Not really away. Keane again. Well, Poynton was in the right place again. Beckford tucked it through the defenders, and Schmeichel dived forward too late. Good ball by Hughes. Kanchelskis away from Poynton. Ince is square. Giggs is on the far side. Here he is. And And it was blocked by Milligan, the captain. Well, Kanchelskis seemed to be in two minds for a moment there.
It was good defending there by Oldham, because Kanchelskis coming through on his right foot. Even though he hit that cracker of the second goal, Richard Jobson knew he preferred to try and keep it on his right foot, didn't give him the opportunity. And here, when it ended up at Giggs, he was closed down very quickly. And the third goal there would have been, well, desperate for Oldham, wouldn't it, just before half-time.
I was just thinking Milligan did quite well there not to handle it, didn't he? Because his arms were up, but it must have been his chest.
Giggs wanted the ball earlier, but Kanchelskis was trying to make the shooting opportunity, a bit like he did against Charlton, but good defending by Oldham.
Parker. Now they've got 5, 6 players up here, Manchester United, in injury time at the end of the first half. But Parker did well to hold on. Kanchelskis, Keane. Good ball by Milligan. And a thrilling 45 minutes. Dennis Irwin giving Manchester United the early boost. Kanchelskis making it seem better still. But then Neil Poynton, Sunday's hero for Oldham, made another important contribution and kept a sparkling semi-final in the balance. Well, 2-1 was the score 4 years ago here in the replay. That's how it finished to Manchester United. That's how it stands at half-time in the replay this year. And despite the prodigious start that Manchester United made, Jobson and Oldham are still in the hunt. Free kick to be taken by Pallister.
I think in the first 45 minutes, Manchester United probably played as well as they have for a few matches. And 2-0 up, they were very fired up for this match. And then Oldham sort of hung on there like a boxer, didn't they? Trying to clear their senses a bit and then gradually edged their way back into the match. Got that vital goal. And now it's, well, delicately poised at 2-1.
Here's Jobson. Making. Flicked on by Bernard. This is Graham Sharp. Peels for handball. Oh, bad clearance anyway, Bernard. It's not away. It's Parker with Beckford. It's Poynton again. Desperate defending.
It was almost a comedy of errors there by everyone. Graham Sharp hit a bad cross. Gary Pallister messed up with his clearance and it went from bad to worse, but somehow United got it away.
Forward again by Graham Sharp. And the Oldham supporters behind the goal that their team are now attacking see renewed hope.
The tactical switch of putting Paul Bernard alongside Milligan and Henry definitely gave Oldham more of an even contest in that midfield, centre midfield department, and sort of since that they've matched them far more evenly, and there's been no tactical switches. Joe Royle at the moment quite happy to retain the formation and try and get Rick Holden down the right flank, getting those crosses into Sharp and Beckford.
Bernard.
Pity he overhit that one, because Beckford could have got clear then. He wasn't offside, flag didn't go up.
It's Hughes with Jobson. Then Bernard joins in. Flag was up for offside. Sensible advantage applied by Martin Boddenham. Hughes. Parker. Hughes goes again. Jobson's the defender.
There's no penalty there. Mark Hughes made up a lot of ground there, did very well, and it was trying to back into the defender there. Richard Jobson was just a yard or two away. As you can see, just feels Jobson there, then tries to lean into him, and Jobson had taken a stride back. Quite rightly, just a goal kick.
Pallister. Irwin's long punt forward. It's Fleming who's there with Hughes. Beckford and Sharp start to spread out up front, but it's only gone to Irwin. Giggs. Milligan. Oh, that header by Pallister is straight to Bernard. He's got it again. Here's Holden. Makin. Jobson. Well, I suppose the more Oldham come on to Manchester United, as they've got to do, 2-1 down, there's always the chance, I suppose, that Manchester United might find more space on the counter-attack.
Well, this was a bit optimistic by anyone's standards. That's some 40 yards out, but as you say, with Kanchelskis and Giggs, their pace, and anyone from the midfield breaking, Oldham have got to sort of get the balance between pushing forward and also, of course, not conceding that so important third goal, because then you feel it would be too far gone.
It's beautifully poised, is what we're really saying, isn't it? As semi-finals should be, really. Here's Graham Sharp. That's a foul. He's been excellent up front for Oldham. Now Rick Holden, who seems to take nearly all the free kicks, has got his foot on the ball here. Bernard with his arm up, you can see. But it's played towards Graham Sharp. Good header back, Milligan. Needed a strong challenge by Ince in there.
They started the half well, Oldham.
They certainly are. A thoughtful Joe Royle. I wonder at what stage he goes for broke and puts Andy Ritchie on.
I think you've got to give it 15, 20 minutes. I mean, they've started this half well. Doesn't want to change the system. And to introduce Ritchie as a third striker, he has to then upset that midfield that's doing better.
Yes, it's a bit early. Here's Parker. Robson. Kanchelskis. Keane. A lot of blue shirts around Kanchelskis here, but he's found a way round it as far as Parker. Back again to Kanchelskis. And Makin has to concede the corner, which, believe it or not, is Manchester United's first of the match.
Well worked there down the right-hand side, wasn't it? And Kanchelskis here putting in the sort of cross that Manchester United were never able to do without his width on Sunday.
Pallister is in the near post position. Bruce is forward as well. And Ince is closing in. Seems to me, Trevor, that Ince is getting into a lot more forward positions. Is it just this season, or certainly more than in his West Ham days?
Well, he's getting a few more goals. Of course, this evening with Brian Robson in the midfield, that would give him that extra sort of ability to be able to, because normally he's the anchor man if he's just playing with two alongside Keane, whereas tonight knowing Robson is there, and of course he's got one or two headers, hasn't he, and even his left foot, which he's been delighted with.
Bruce. Well, there's a United player not picked up from the throw. It's Kanchelskis. Robson. Parker. Robson again. Bernard. Bit of an argument over whose throw it was there. Now then, Hughes has got Kanchelskis going off to the right. He's got Parker in support as well on that side. Onside Kanchelskis. Brian Robson is the furthest player forward in the centre. He's the only one. It's still Kanchelskis. And the follow-up by Hughes, who arrived late.
Well, it's a stunning run by Kanchelskis. I mean, poor Neil Pointon there. I think his hamstrings are about to go there. Great pullback. And that was terrific defending there just to put the shooter off.
I think Fleming dived in, didn't he, and got the deflection. Here's the corner. So often players get into that position and don't pull the ball back as beautifully as he did.
Been some speculation as to whether Kanchelskis will be staying next season. I think it'd be a great loss if he was allowed to go.
Robson. Ince. Here's Kanchelskis again. It'll also be a great loss to us and to Russia if he doesn't play in the World Cup, because that's in debate at the moment. There's an argument going on in the Russian squad between certain players and the coach, and as things stand, players like Kanchelskis look like being left out.
Well, it would be a great loss because he sometimes plays more of a defensive role, doesn't he, on that right flank for Russia. But really he needs to be released as he is this evening for United, where he's just running at his fullback, and he is a frightening sight, I'm sure, for any defender who he's heading towards.
Keane, Kanchelskis again. Hughes in the middle, so is Giggs. Hughes goes in, great defending by Richard Jobson. Parker. Robson. And they're feeding Kanchelskis at every opportunity. There's the cross again. Macon didn't get it. Giggs did. Still Giggs. Straight at the goalkeeper.
Well, they're clinging by the fingertips, Oldham. Having said that, Oldham started the second half well. Manchester United in the last 3 or 4 minutes have come back very strongly. Sells the dummy, comes inside Macon. It's a good shot. Fortunately for Hallworth, it was at him, knocked him over, but he kept it out.
But here come Oldham. It's Ince. Foul by Bernard. Referee Bodnam straight to his pocket again.
Yellow card. It should be a yellow card because he's not clean through. It was a bad tackle, but there were a couple of defenders between Paul Ince and the goal. Yellow card it is.
Yes, I think you're right. And I think the referee's right. But it is a free kick in a dangerous position. Bruce is forward. Meant for Giggs. Up in the air from the defender and a corner. It was Fleming again, who's made some timely interceptions back there when Oldham have been under siege. Giggs is getting a rapturous reception from the United fans in that corner of the pitch as he goes across to take the corner. Pallister has come up into the near post position. Hughes in the 6-yard box. Bruce up with Horwath. Kanchelskis to Ince. Giggs. Well, Oldham were pushing out on Manchester United there, and they forced a hurried clearance from Schmeichel.
Just acknowledging that his left foot isn't the strongest, and rather than take any chances, look, he's saying, can you put it on my right next time?
Coming up to the 1 hour mark in this semi-final replay at Main Road. Manchester United 2, Oldham 1. But you wouldn't want to suggest that's going to be the final score. Makin. Poynton. Oh, that could have gone anywhere. United looking at the linesman, asking for an offside.
Mustn't just get carried away in those situations. You see, as the ball just breaks, I mean, it's a long way out. It's difficult to hit. I think Neil Poynton could have just brought it down. I think there should have been an offside decision there, but they're just, like Robson, shooting a bit hurriedly at the moment, trying to get the classic spectacular equaliser.
And here come Oldham again, urged on by their supporters at that end. Makin. Up goes Beckford. Oh, it nearly fell for him. Robson in on Hughes. Referee is very close. Mark Hughes protests, but Martin Boddenham waves him away, or rather ignores him. This is Makin. That's offside. The Manchester United players are getting on at the referee a bit, Trevor. Robson and Hughes protesting there.
Well, it's a fairly heated atmosphere. But I think Martin Boddenham's done extremely well. He's played the advantage when he could have done. And I think, you know, in a situation like this, where there's a lot of tackles going in, to have kept the game flowing as well as he has, he's done well. And I mean, the hour has flown by.
Here's Kanchelskis, who's still flying. Robson trying to get Parker through on the overlap. He may have done so now. Hughes goes to the near post, and it flies off the head of Fleming again. Oh, Robson arriving. Brian Robson, 3-1. Well, the 37-year-old club captain restored to the starting lineup tonight. Heads in from a corner that Horwath missed.
Well, it's a sad mistake, isn't it? Horwath trying to get in front of Hughes, but it clears everyone, and it hits Brian Robson more than anything, and his midriff hip or something. I'm sure he's not too worried. There he is, soaring up. His commitment gets him there. It's a soft goal, but a vital goal.
And it's the 99th goal that Brian Robson has scored in his Manchester United career. It makes it 3-1 in the semi-final replay. And seen from the other angle, it wasn't really a header, but he won't mind. He bundled it over the line. And John Horwath will look back sadly on that moment. But so often Robson's presence in the penalty area down the years has proved important, and it did then. Hughes.
John Hallworth had a fine game Sunday, and yeah, I'm sure he's going to be very frustrated because it came at a very important stage of the second half, and now you do wonder whether Joe Royle will have to introduce Andy Ritchie into the fray to try and get that second goal back.
It's funny, isn't it, how we've seen 2 goals from corners, or 3 now, in this cup tie overall. You know, Poynton's 2 for Oldham, and now 1 by Robson. Here.
Well, it's well over Hallworth. He thought it was going to go to Hughes. The Oldham players are trying to appeal that it was handball, but it just hit him in the stomach, didn't it?
Well, I wonder if Joe Royle's cup adventure is finally going to be quelled, because Kanchelskis is in full flight. Parker is outside him. United have got a player to spare in this attack. It's Ince. Oldham are back now. Parker. But there are players waiting. Keane. Pallister. "20 minutes gone in the second half of this replay at Main Road, and Manchester United's 2-goal advantage is restored. And I think Alex Ferguson will be well pleased at the moment with his decision to bring Robson back.
Well, Robson and Kanchelskis, I mean, he shuffled his pack this evening. Keane came back as well, and he's worked very hard. But, I mean, Kanchelskis and Robson have been very instrumental in the change in fortunes. I think Mark Hughes has been superb down the middle as well, up there on that lone striking role. And those 3 probably more than anything have been the difference.
Graham Sharp. But there's a zip about Manchester United again now after the Robson goal. Parker. And Kanchelskis has never had a night like this. He's getting the ball every 2 minutes. Here's Ince. Back heel into Kanchelskis' path. Brilliant. Hughes got out the way. It's going to come to Giggs. Oh, it was going in the far corner, I'm sure. It looked like it from here.
It definitely was going in. Richard Jobson it was who came across. I mean, they're rampant at the moment, Man United. There's an insolent back heel, isn't it, by Ince. Kanchelskis thinking about a shot himself. It goes out to Giggs, and it's Richard Jobson who blocks it. Definitely that was goal-bound.
Header by Pallister. Oh, it nearly went through the crowd. Hughes was trying to get a final touch to it. Well played by Keane. Here comes Beckford. That's a bit short from Steve Bruce. Won't be appreciated by the goalkeeper, but still.
Strange, some of the pass back. Paul Parker, there was a scramble in the first half. Brian Robson, then when it went out for the corner that Oldham scored, and then another pass back. That's probably been one of the danger factors from Manchester United's point of view.
It's a free kick given against Poynton. I see Andy Ritchie is getting prepared for Oldham, but hang on. We're back on the attack with Manchester United. Giggs has got space on this side, found by Kanchelskis. Giggs again. Yes! He walks away, the coolest man in the stadium. Kanchelskis plays a part again, and Alex Ferguson and Brian Kidd must feel now they've broken Oldham's resistance. Ryan Giggs.
Well, his first shot goes against the defender. He gets a kind return, doesn't make any mistake with the second, does he? But Andre Kanchelskis again, his pace, unselfishly switched it to Giggs. There he is, crashes it in the far corner, but Kanchelskis has just been above anyone else on the pitch.
Halfway through the second half, Ryan Giggs with his 15th goal of the season. Here's Poynton for Oldham. Goes crashing down, appeals for a free kick. Chases the referee, but just listen to the noise now at Main Road.
Well, it has been Manchester United back at their convincing best, doesn't it? And it does signal that I'm sure Blackburn Rovers have got a very difficult task now, because it must help them with their league running now to the end of the season.
Well, can they go for the 5th one? This is Kanchelskis. Hughes to his left here. Giggs is following up behind him. And Oldham are just glad to get the ball away at the moment. And a substitution here, Trevor.
Well, Roy Keane is coming off, and Brian McClair. I'm not sure that he's got an injury, Roy Keane. He might have just been carrying something. He's played a part this evening, not a key one, and perhaps with games to come now and 4-1 ahead, Alex Ferguson, if there is any doubt, decided to take him off and give Brian McClair an airing, and Joe Royle deciding to play his final card shortly, I think, with a double substitution of Redmond and Ritchie into the fray.
There's a bit of trouble here, though. Flashpoint. I think it's under control. There's going to be, as you say, a 2-man change by Oldham. Redmond and Ritchie are waiting on the line. And one of those coming off is Darren Beckford. And Poynton off as well, so a bit of reorganisation here, Trevor.
Well, I would think Chris Macon or Craig Fleming would go to left-back. In fact, it's Craig Fleming who's got a lot of pace and will try and deal with Andre Kanchelskis. I can only wish him all the best, and Steve Redmond will take Fleming's place alongside Jobson.
That's forward by Robson to Irwin. So 3 substitutions there almost at the same time. Oldham now facing a 3-goal deficit. Here's Kanchelskis. Hughes. Ince. This is going to fall for Giggs. First time ball attempted by Robson. In fact, it's given Oldham a little bit of a breather here. This is Bernard.
Well, as much as I said that this victory, as it looks certain now, is going to help United in the league, it's going to be very important for Oldham not to let them get their heads down, because they've got some important points to pick up between now and the end.
That's right. That's a good ball, that, by Rick Holden to Nick Henry. Andy Ritchie is far post. That's where it's going. Ritchie's wearing number 8. The substitute has just come on. He's got support coming in from Fleming. And it's away by Pallister. Redmond. Helped on to Henry. This is Macon. Gets it back from Sharp. In it goes from Jobson. 72 minutes gone in the semi-final replay. Manchester United 4, Oldham 1. Oh, casual from Giggs. This is Holden. He needs to make up for that. And they haven't yet. Ritchie.
Well, actually got a lull in play.
That's the first one, isn't it?
Taking a long time, hasn't it? I mean, it's been a terrific cup tie, and credit to Manchester United, back on form, but I mean, Oldham have played their part as well.
Yes, it's been a gripping competition this season, the FA Cup. I don't think I've seen a better match than this, though. Ritchie. And Ince trying to cut. Oh, it may work for Kanchelskis. He's away. Robson will clear. Holds his head. Well, Kanchelskis on this form would probably compare with anybody in Europe, wouldn't he?
Well, he's had a fantastic night. Interesting, actually, thinking of the opponents, Chelsea. They've got a very quick defender in Frank Sinclair, who, if you could pick out anyone in the league who might be able to match his pace, he certainly is the one, and that will be a key confrontation, I'm sure, in the final.
Well, without doing Oldham a disservice, if we are looking that far ahead, I suppose Kanchelskis will be trying to beat a fellow Russian in Karin, won't he? But this semi-final still has a quarter of an hour to run. Oldham are 4-1 down, and they're also offside. Now there is the attendance figure coming through to us, 32,211. That is 5,000 below the capacity set for tonight at Main Road, and that's because Oldham did not take up their full allocation. Joe Royle's followers preferred to go to Wembley, it would seem. Hughes. Kanchelskis has moved inside. This is Giggs. Offside. Alex Ferguson will be thinking ahead to Saturday now, Trevor. I think you're perfectly right there, why Keane came off, and I'm sure he's thinking about Mark Hughes as well, who's given so much. And a rest is in order.
Well, I'm not surprised there. The Manchester United supporters giving Mark Hughes a standing ovation. He's led the line up there by himself in magnificent style, as only he can. So strong, shielded the ball, and it is definitely a rest and a well done for him in the last, 14 minutes, and give Lee Sharp a run out.
I think he'll put Giggs through the middle and Sharp on the left, won't he?
That looks to be the case. I mean, he's got McClair, but McClair's sort of making that third member in midfield, so definitely Giggs is going to play up there, I think.
Well, they've got the match in their hands now, there's no doubt about that. Pallister having to backpedal a bit. That was Bernard. This is Holden to Makin. Now, this is where it's so dangerous for Oldham. If United spread out in attack like this, a wide pitch Main Road, and they're using both the flanks to good effect. This is Giggs, and now it's Sharp who's just come on. Another good touch from Graham Sharp. No one's done better for Oldham than him. Henry. And Brian Robson just shutting down the hatch there at left back. Allowing Irwin to recover. This is Holden.
Brian Robson's done that deep role in the midfield this evening again. Thinking ahead, it's a sort of position where he could pick up the likes of Gavin Peacock.
It's Giggs. Kanchelskis square. Good defending by Redmond.
Good control there by Giggs, twisting and turning again. That fourth goal that he got for United would have done him some good.
Here's a corner to be taken by Lee Sharp. Bruce comes in.
Again, Steve Bruce trying to get on the end of it, but enough Oldham players back.
Andy Ritchie, former Manchester United player. In fact, he came on as a sub for them in a semi-final back in 1979. Free kick to Oldham. To be taken by Holden. Jobson is forward again. Redmond is thinking about going up as well. In fact, that was Steve Redmond, who used to play here for Manchester City. Not a happy homecoming for the ex-Main Road contingent in the Oldham side. Ince. Brian McClare making a forward run. Free kick.
Brian Robson directing affairs. Everybody has proved this evening that Man United, without Eric Cantona, can play as well as we've seen earlier in the season.
Parker. Ten minutes to go. Jobson stretching a bit with Giggs. Bernard for Oldham, but only to Pallister, and then only to Holden. Now Andy Ritchie in some space. Holden goes forward again. This is McClare. So Manchester United on the verge of reaching their 12th FA Cup final. That would equal the all-time record held by Arsenal. And Oldham will have to wait still longer for their first appearance in the showpiece event, having been so close on Sunday. Here's Parker. Giggs. Ince starts his run now. Shuddering challenge, but Robson's quite happy to meet it from Milligan. Free kick, Bruce on Holden. Redmond has made his way forward. Jobson is in there too. Holden to take it. And they're looking for an offside here, Manchester United, or they were. Andy Ritchie stealing in. This is Nick Henry. And there's the quick throw, and here's Kanchelskis. Now look at the runners, there are three of them. McClare. Inside him is Ince, further over is Giggs.
They're exciting, aren't they, on the break like that? Again, a Schmeichel throw out. Kanchelskis the man, and five Man United players breaking, wanting to get forward, even though there's 4-1 up.
Here's Bernard for Oldham. Holden. Sharp. That was Henry. You just feel after a match as tight as Sunday's that sometimes a new factor can make all the difference in the second meeting, and I suppose that new factor really has been Kanchelskis.
I think Kanchelskis, I think Brian Robson has played an important part as well. The change in system, Joe Royle switched Paul Bernard into the centre midfield alongside Milligan and Henry after quarter of an hour, but they were already 2-0 down by then, and they've got the ascendancy going, Manchester United. They were fired up from the off, and suddenly the passion, the zest and the verve that had been missing for 3 weeks or so was back.
Now Pallister and Bruce getting themselves in a little bit of a tangle, but not for long. Sharp, that's Lee Sharp, number 5. Bernard. And Parker's got 2 against him here. Did well. McClare. Kanchelskis wants it played wide. So Schmeichel, who missed the Coca-Cola Cup final with suspension, looks as though he's going to play in a Wembley Cup final after all. And who knows, maybe Brian Robson will play in another one, having lifted the cup 3 times.
What a change in fortunes, that volley by Mark Hughes. When you think back, you know, just a minute away, Oldham, from a cup final. Man United could see the whole season slipping away, and suddenly they've reversed it, and the league is looking a lot brighter, and everything is rosy again.
Well, just for the moment. I wonder what will happen at the weekend, because this this championship saga will take on, as you say, a new meaning perhaps now. Wimbledon away is Manchester United's next port of call, but here's Milligan for Oldham. Can they manage a final thrust here? Bernard, Holden. Shoulder charge by Irwin, deemed to be fair. Well, people say that they never remember beaten semi-finalists. Oldham have given this a real go over 2 games, the best they could have done, really, on Sunday. Kanchelskis. Oh, McClare came through the inside right channel. Parker. Giggs is in the middle. So is Sharp. And offside given against McClare.
You can tell when they've got the passion back, Man United, because when they're ahead in games and they're playing well, they're still looking to get further goals, even when they're 2 or 3 goals clear as they are in this particular match. And again there, it was 4 against 3. It was the right-back, Paul Parker, and anyone has the licence to go forward. And that just shows now the confidence is going back throughout the team.
Well, that's right, but then, I mean, down the years, Manchester United have never played any other way, have they? They've never been allowed to, in a sense. Their reputation precedes them. They have to try and entertain as well as win. That was a very tight one from Dennis Irwin, which Pallister might be glad to see the back of. This is Robson, and that's a decent move now. It's Parker with Kanchelskis going down the right. Giggs in the middle, Lee Sharp steaming up outside him. Kanchelskis. Well, he put it in the one place that they hadn't got into.
Well, it was a great run again. Look at the 2 United players. They both go to the near post, Sharp and Giggs. No one at the far post.
Just over a couple of minutes remaining at Main Road. The FA Cup semi-final replay. Manchester United 4, Oldham Athletic 1. And the double is still a possibility. Milligan is well forward here, but it's too long.
I mean, it's been a brave bid by Oldham, but I'm not sure they ever got over that mental scar that must have been left, having just conceded a goal in the last minute. However much you say, look, it's starting a new game, we're back level again, we can still do it. The disappointment must be there, and I don't think they got it out of their system, and before they knew what had happened, they were 2-0 down.
Yes, it was so near and yet so far, wasn't it, 3 days ago? And you did have this feeling that maybe their chance had gone. Tonight, there's just over a minute left. Parker. Robson. Three of them waiting for a through pass. It's driven wide to Sharp. Ince. McClare in a great position. Irwin. McClare now. Sharp back to Irwin. And they can work it square again. Kanchelskis to fire one.
Brian Robson there shouting across at him, thinking, what do you think, you can score from anywhere this evening? And don't know what language they're chatting amongst the pair of them, but quite a relaxed atmosphere, not surprisingly now.
So the 90 minutes is up at Main Road. Giggs. Ince to collect. Has he got the extra? Yes, he has. Sharp. Little shout for offside there that didn't materialise. Oh, well played by Andy Ritchie. A final burst from Oldham.
Sure, Andy Ritchie would have enjoyed this moment against his old club. Just bundles his way past Brian Robson. Can't quite keep the shot down.
Manchester United reach their 12th FA Cup final, equalling Arsenal's record. Consolation for Joe Royle. But Brian Robson's return strengthened Manchester United's resolve. And with Andrei Kanchelskis in scintillating form, they got hold of this match in the first half and regained their grip on it in the second. Ryan Giggs putting it beyond all doubt with goal number 4 to add to those put past John Holworth earlier by Irwin, Kanchelskis and Robson. The dream of the double still exists for Manchester United. They played Chelsea in the FA Cup final at Wembley. What a story of Brian Robson's in action that day. May the 14th. And in the meantime, they'll go on fighting out the Premiership with Blackburn Rovers. As for Oldham, a brave contribution on Sunday. Overrun tonight in the end, with a final score at Main Road of Manchester United 4, Oldham 1.